This episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by Onyx Hunt, Federal Ammunition, Waltons, Nutrisource Pet Foods, Illuma Trailers, North Dakota Tourism, and Grain Belt Beer. I'm currently sitting in the Birds, Booze, and Buds bird hunting man cave in western North Dakota. Tyler Webster and I just wrapped up another incredible hunt, and we figured we might as well sit down and tell you all about it.
A toast to the hunters from your friends at Grain Belt. May the mornings be clear and the fresh air be crisp. May you find solace in the silence. May the stillness settle your soul. May your long shot stay true. May your heart roam free. May you find what you seek in the fields you stalk. May your call to the wild be answered, and at the end of the day, may you share in the thrill of the hunt with your friends. So here's to the 8-pointers and the 12-ouncers. Here's to you and to your thirst for adventure. Bring Grain Belt to the outdoors with our limited edition premium hunting season pack. This season, enter to win a hunting trip for two to Brown's Hunting Lodge, wherever you can find premium 12 and 24-pack cans. For more information, visit our website at grainbelt.com/hunting-trip.
Welcome to another episode of the Flush Podcast and
the Birds, Booze, and Buds podcast.
Yeah, we figured we might as well do a tandem here.
We might as well.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling really good, actually.
Yeah.
And it's not raining nearly as much as they were forecasting.
Mm-hmm.
We could have hunted this morning.
We could be hunting right now.
We could be.
Yep.
But
instead, some people stayed up a little bit late.
we did. I
Yeah.
think George, I finally just had to tell George, I'm going to bed.
How many finals did he say?
3 or 4. It was a final, I believe.
Right.
But I went to bed at 2 a.m. And he was still finishing his cocktail, and he was going to go and grab a shower. And I was like, none of that's happening for me. No, hard pass on all that.
Oh, I think it was 1:30-ish for me. So
Yeah, it was late.
It's
It was
been a journey. It has been a week. There's just too much to talk about right now. If we decided to go out, I mean, I think Daisy would go. Look at her over here.
She's just all curled up on the couch, looking just cute as could be.
Mhm.
But in her heart of hearts, she's thinking, I could go find a covey of huns.
Let's-
I know where they live because
go
I
for
used
one
to live
last-
here.
Let's go for
Yeah.
one last rip. Yeah.
It'd be kind of funny to see her just go and look in her old spots that she used to look when she was a puppy, because she had a little milk route built around here that summer that she was here before you picked her up.
Can you describe that milk? Like how far that route wrapped?
It wasn't super big, but she'd run over by the driveway and the caraganda bushes, hot spot,
Mhm.
Obviously. And then she'd go around the north side of the barn, and then she'd go over to the fence over here on the east side, and she'd go all the way down to the bush, and she'd run along that back fence, and then she'd run all the way up along that other edge, and she usually ended up finding a couple coveys of huns before she got done.
Oh my goodness, I love it so much. There was a moment yesterday. We'll break down a lot of what we saw, what we learned. You're gonna want to put North Dakota trip on your list this year. You just have to.
Yeah, I mean, when the Game and Fish comes out and they say that the hun numbers are tied with an all-time high dating back to 1992, which I've talked about on so many podcasts, but I mean, those were the good old days. So I started hunting in 1991. I was 8. And in 1992, I remember that's when I was talking about there was a hun covey on every corner of a wheat field. We're there.
Mhm.
We're there right now.
Yep, I've seen it with my own eyes. I can confirm.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, we stopped for a little bit and just like tried
Oh my gosh.
to wrap our head around it, and she just sat down.
And she just stared.
She just looked over.
She
the
looked so
prairie.
stoic.
Yeah.
She just looked longingly at the prairie like, Dad, I could go,
Mm-hmm.
or we could just move here. Either one.
Well, I have been looking online.
Yeah, I know.
And I looked
know.
at houses for sale out here. My wife is already in, so we might be neighbors pretty soon, bud.
I could do worse for neighbors. We'll have Sunday dinner. We'll rotate between places.
Mhm. So this is for my listeners. This week, actually, I believe we're going to be able to get this out here. We are hosting a live podcast at the Bear Cave Brewing
Oh,
in Hopkins, Minnesota.
so much fun.
September 28th at 7 p.m. Bring your bird hunting buddies, bring your wife, bring your kids, bring your dog. because we're gonna record on the patio, and it's a really cool place. If you didn't come out and join us for any of the live shows last year, you would probably want to come out this year. They've got like it looks kind of like your setup here with all the different taps,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
but anyway, you scan a card and you use self-serve. They've got like 100 different beers on
Oh, that's
tap,
wild.
and yeah, so we're looking forward to that. That, like I said, September 28th, 7 p.m. Bear Cave Brewing in Hopkins, Minnesota. Hope to see you out there. Okay, back to our.
We did that first live podcast down in Omaha
Mhm.
at Pheasant Fest a couple years ago at the brewery down there. It was so much fun, man.
It
was a
is.
good time.
It's fun to see people that come out and that have the stories to share, and it's for us, it's kind of inspiring, I guess, to keep going or motivation. And I'll say last night after the hunt, we went to, what's the name of your pub?
The Leader Bar.
The Leader Bar, and saw a couple guys wearing some bird hunting
Yeah,
hats.
we saw a Final Rise hat and some
Mhm.
other stuff in
And a
there.
blaze orange hat.
Little blaze orange. Yeah.
Walked over and introduced ourselves, and they were just the nicest guys.
Yeah.
And they just told us how much they've taken away from your podcast
And
from
your
our
podcast and
yeah,
TV
and
show.
the
Yeah.
TV shows, and they said we are out here hunting right now because of you, and I guess that it means a lot,
It
and
does, and it never gets old. I mean,
Mhm.
like, it's happened to me already several times this season with, I mean, everybody kind of knows Stanley where I live. It's a good area, but the
Mhm.
people that are willing to drive like those guys did. It was three brothers. One of them was from Virginia, and one of them was from Kentucky, and the other one's living in Indiana, and they all just road tripped up here with two dogs and camped and everything else. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Josh Harbolt was the name of one of them, and I don't remember his brother's names. Do you remember?
I don't know.
Anyway, just
My brain was fried by the time we got done hunting yesterday.
yeah, but just a big thanks to Josh. If you're
Yeah.
listening, you and your brothers, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for introducing yourself. I've met quite a few people already out in the field this year too, and I just I love the camaraderie, the community. It's a wonderful place to be. We try to provide information, I guess, and entertainment, and a little bit of don't do this, maybe.
Sure, sure.
We learned the hard way.
But to see a couple guys that have never been out here before, and
Mhm.
they watched our videos and they listened to the podcast and what we're talking about, and they went out and they figured it out on their own.
That's a cool part,
That's so cool.
because sometimes we'll get messages and people basically want to put the bird in a bush for you, almost right in front of them, and the fact that that's not how it works,
So-
and it's not every 20 yards, and it may
No.
look like it when you break down.
It was every 20 yards
It was
yesterday.
for us yesterday,
yeah,
but typically when we break down a show into these 5-minute segments, and it sure looks like there's a lot of action,
yeah,
but that takes days for us to sometimes acquire that
Sure.
and to capture it. So it takes miles and
it
miles.
does. I mean, we did really well this week, but
Mhm.
we still walked 9+ miles both days. I mean, we put on.
the last 2 days we put 9 miles. I didn't even look at my
I ended up
mileage.
with 20,000 steps in yesterday by the end of the day, but when we got
Mhm.
done, I was at like 18.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's 9 miles. I run about 2,000 steps a mile, and it was right at almost the exact same the first day. So, I don't know how many miles Daisy ran yesterday, 30.
I think it was like just a quarter mile shy of 30.
And I ran, CJ did 15 on the first one, and Jesse did 10 on the second. And so, I mean, the dogs are going to be covering a lot of miles. We're going to be covering a lot of miles.
Mhm.
And then, like, is what I love is that there's always that one walk or two walks where you just get into them.
Mhm.
And so, like, both end of the day walks were both like that. The first walk or the last walk on the first night, we ended up getting into a bunch of birds. And the last walk yesterday, we ended up getting into a bunch of birds. But in the first two walks, there was a lot of miles in between birds,
Yeah.
in between contacts.
Yep, for
So,
sure.
but that's okay.
It
I
is.
mean,
It makes it like I would actually prefer it that way.
it's honestly like the walk yesterday got a little chaotic.
Yeah.
Just because
Afternoon or morning?
the afternoon one.
Oh, yeah,
Just
that-
because we had 4 dogs in the field. We had Daisy. I had my puppy Jess out. George had his old dog Tucker and his little cocker.
Mhm.
And there was no 5-minute break in between birds.
3 minutes maybe.
Right. So I mean, the walk in the morning that we had, you kind of get to feel the pace of it. Like we're walking out there, we got our guns broke over our shoulders. We're sitting there, we're, giving each other a hard time, and we're watching the dogs in this really big, beautiful piece of property that's plots land, open to everybody. And you kind of it's relaxing. It's like watching poetry.
George
And
calls it poetry in motion.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
It's beautiful.
it is. But we also really like those ones where it gets a little chaotic and it's like at the end of it, because you just need to take a breath because you've been basically holding your breath the entire time waiting for something to happen.
We were going from a dog on point to a dog on point to a dog on point to birds getting up between dogs on point to trying to capture everything. The cameraman afterwards, he's like,
"Poor Lance, man."
That's the most insane thing. So, okay, a few weeks ago on our show here, I explained kind of my top 5 places that I would want to go hunting if I could just pick somewhere in the Midwest here. And North Dakota was number 1, but it was funny because South Dakota got bumped down the list for the reasons I explained. And this hunt here really explains or confirms that to me. Yesterday we're walking into this cover. We have a Daisy on point, we have a Jesse on point, we have a Tucker on point, all within 50 yards of each other.
And they're all on different birds.
And they were all pointing different birds, but different species
of birds. Yeah.
7 pheasants got up in front of Daisy's point.
Yep.
7. There was a covey of sharptails that got up off of Jesse to my right.
Yep.
And Tucker was pointing huns, if I remember.
Yep. Yeah, it was madness.
Madness.
It was just madness.
It was madness.
Yeah, it was chaos.
Yes. Oh.
And I mean, the cool thing is, and one of the things I like hunting about you, and this is the first time I've got to hunt with George, but we were experienced enough where nobody shot any hens. I mean, everybody was safe with their guns. I never had to worry about my dog, because when it gets that chaotic like that, there's birds going out everywhere. If you're hunting with, it's nice to hunt with people that
trust.
that you trust and that aren't gonna, take that wild shot with a dog going over top the hill. Because when you have 4 dogs in the ground, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jesse's only a year old, so I mean, your dog Daisy, she's pretty darn steady through the flush and to the shot. I
think she lost a little bit of that this week
because
there was just so much going on and with other dogs. Before I left home, I had been working with her. We've been running out on some WMAs in Minnesota that have pheasants, and they're wild birds, and I had the cap gun, and I'm just setting her up through the shot, everything. But when it's just that much going on and we're shooting and birds are dropping and other dogs are coming through, I mean, it just changes the whole scenario a little bit.
And it's almost a touch unrealistic to expect them. I mean, you're a lot more calm when you're out there on the WMA with a cap gun too. And they can feed off everybody else's energy. So, I mean, my gun's going off. George's gun's going off. We got dogs going that are moving at all times, especially with the little cocker out there in the field. That's what she's there for, is to be moving all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a pedometer on little Minnie yesterday, she did 100,000 steps in the one walk. I mean, those little legs were just ripping.
Oh, I love her so much.
Oh, she's such a great little dog. But it's just kind of unrealistic to set those expectations. Is what my buddy Justin McGrail always says, is train to 60% or train 60% more than what you'd be happy with in the field or something like that. I mean, the numbers might be wrong, but the point of it is train that dog so that it's 100% steady through the flush and everything else. And if it's going to backslide a little bit in the field on you, just because there is going to be some chaos. I mean, if you want a dog that's 100% broke through every single wild bird, boy, I mean, I know that they're out there, but I mean, they're one in 10,000 dogs, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look what the cat is about.
Oh boy!
All
right, here he comes.
Here comes
the man, the myth, the legend,
the man of the hour. Here he comes sneaking in. Hey, good morning, sunshine. We're the only ones mic'd up.
That's
let's get into what we can kind of help people with as far as how things change throughout the day. Let's do sharptail grouse, Let's also do Hungarian partridge, and then we can talk pheasants too. But
Sure.
where do you want to go? Sharptail or hunts first?
Well, they're both going to be a little bit the same, but let's start with sharptails.
Okay.
So that's where we started our walk yesterday. It was a big walk specifically for sharptails. I think in the field about 10:15, 10:30. And that's pretty close to the right time. So as what ends up happening, and we even seen it yesterday, the birds were still feeding
Mhm.
in the morning. So as what that means, they can be feeding in the prairie. They're still harder to approach. It's not just because they're not there, even though we did move some birds that came up out of the wheat field.
Out of the grass, yep,
Yeah.
and the wheat.
Yep.
Yep.
And so those birds are alert. Daisy had a point on a group of birds that you could literally see their heads.
Yeah.
Like when they're feeding, everything's trying to eat them. So hawks and avian predators are the big ones. So they know that they're exposed. They're alert. They're just kind of on guard. And if they see you, the game's over. Even on these fairly early season birds, they're going to go. And if one of them goes and there's 10 of them there, they're all going to go because they know that one of them seen something that's trouble. And as the day goes on, after they get done feeding, they start to get into some of the thicker patches of like snowberries, some of the thicker grasses out there, and they'll kind of just hunker in and nest down. And like it's just like us after we have Thanksgiving meal, right? Like we want to sit in our recliner. They're the exact same way. So they get done feeding in the morning, and then they kind of take a breath and they kind of hunker down, and that's when you're going to get those really, really nice solid points, and you're going to get that good dog work because they're not on guard.
Well, and on top of that, you might be walking some really good property or some really good habitat. They're just not there yet.
Some of them aren't. Yeah.
I mean, if they're out there was a covey that flew. All of a sudden, we're like, "Whoa!"
They flew over top
flew
of
from
us.
behind us over us. I look up and I'm like, "Oh, Sharpie!" And then I look to my right, 7 more come soaring by.
Yep.
They were just out feeding.
Yeah, they were out in that wheat field, and they were coming back in to roost. And it's going to be kind of the same thing in the evenings as well. Those birds are going to be just a touch more alert. They're going to be out in that thinner cover. They're going to be picking and the main food that those sharptails are eating right now. And yes, there are some out in the wheat field. They're still eating grasshoppers because we haven't had a frost yet.
I opened up the crop last night, and it was grasshopper,
rose hips,
and snowberries.
Yep.
All and then a little bit of grass too.
Yep.
But yeah, they had all of the food sources in there at the same time.
Right. And so they kind of get to pick and choose what they want to eat right now because there's just a bounty on the prairie out there. They can eat whatever the heck they want.
Let's also mention too, George said this that I think is worth mentioning. George that we're talking about is George Lyle. And he's been with us now for the last week. And if you listen to the last episode, George and I just came back from Alberta. But the areas that have dandelions.
Yeah, he said that to me.
Sharptail grouse love dandelions. So if you see a hillside that has dandelions, he's like, go right at it.
Yeah, yeah. We don't have a lot of those fields here. He was talking about like south and west of the river. It sounded like there's a lot more of that
South
stuff.
Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota. Here, it's primary forage. I mean, if you're walking through a piece of prairie, we talked about it yesterday on the walk. You should be looking for a bunch of different colors on the landscape. It shouldn't look just like tan CRP grass. We did flush some birds out of there, but is what you're looking for is you're looking for the green grasses, the prairie grass. You're looking for the little round patches of snowberries. You're looking for rose hips, the little red grape size balls of fruit on the ground. And if you're seeing that, you're in the right space. And the other thing that you're really looking for is in the fields that you're going to get the best dog work on, the grass is, I refer to it as thick like carpet. Like when you step on it, there's a little bit of cushion there. There's some give because it's that native prairie grass that's never been broken. I mean, it's sod.
Yeah.
And if you can find it, you want it less than knee high.
I was going to say, I think a real key point here.
Shin high for me, knee high for you.
Waist high for me. It's not too tall.
Right.
Most really good sharptail or prairie chicken hunters will tell you that thick cover, that really tall grass, they're just not in it.
Right.
And they do that because they want to see you coming.
Right. And the other thing that we need to talk about with sharptails is
Wind.
wind.
Yep.
How the wind affects them and where they're going to move on a windy day compared to a calm day.
They were so predictable yesterday.
Oh, I mean,
we
100%.
you and I looked at that spot. We're like, there should be
There
some
should be
right
birds
there.
there.
And almost every time
Yeah.
there were birds there.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be on the downwind side of the ridges and in little bowls. So they like a spot that they can see from, but they also like to be out of the wind so they can hear. So, the top thirds of these ridge lines are going to be your money makers, and any place that you can find just a little depression or a little draw that runs through the prairie, get down there. They like to be out of the wind, and I mean, it really does cancel out a lot of country.
Mhm.
And it wasn't super windy yesterday by any stretch. It was actually kind of a perfect day.
I don't think we could
I
have had
mean-
a better day. You want a little wind. There was enough moisture in the air.
Yep.
It rained the night before, so things had. There was the birds. The dogs were smelling the birds up to 100+ yards away.
I would say for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it was dead calm out there, you're going to end up bumping a lot more birds just because the dogs don't have anything in their favor. I mean, like the odds are just kind of stacked against them. Plus, the birds can be any place. So I mean, the wind was blowing probably 15 yesterday,
I
something
would
like
say
that.
not even.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
to 15.
Yep.
I mean, somewhere in there. But even that little bit of wind was enough to push them to the downwind sides of the hills, and we could just focus on that. And I mean, the rest is history, really.
Yeah.
Um,
The covey sizes were perfect.
yeah,
4 to 7 birds, I
4
would
to
say, on
8, yeah.
average for the sharptails.
yeah.
How long before you start seeing them really group up out here?
Once it gets cold, so we've been kind of unseasonably warm. Really, I mean, not unseasonably, I guess. I mean, it stayed last weekend. It was very warm.
Mhm.
The day that you guys got here, you guys didn't get in until super late on Tuesday, but Tuesday day, it was like 90 degrees,
That's what you said.
85
That sounds
degrees.
terrible.
It was. I mean, I didn't hunt Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday last week because it was. I mean, by the time like 9 o'clock in the morning got here,
Which,
it
by the
was-
way, you're falling apart, man.
I know
This whole
I tell ya.
150 days a year thing isn't happening when
I
you're
did it-
sitting there working the mail route.
No, I
and watching
know.
TV.
I'm the hardest working guy in politics. I tell you.
What's your goal this year? How many days you plan on hunting?
I mean, I haven't had a season in the last 10 years that I haven't hunted at least 120.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my happy spot. I mean, by the end of last season, I did 149 days last year and went from Alaska to the Mexican border, and I was wrecked by the end of the season. I mean,
You're not a spring chicken anymore.
no,
you know?
I mean,
you're,
like, we're
you're going to be
close on
40.
40, yeah.
Yeah, jeepers.
yeah, you
Do you
too,
have-
old man.
Hey, thanks. Do you have big plans for your 40th?
I'm gonna hunt Mearns quail.
Are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. Well, you're a Christmas baby.
Christmas baby, so
Yeah.
I'll be in Arizona. And it's, I think that the 120 days is just a nice place where it's still like it doesn't become a grind. Last season kind of became a grind.
Yeah.
Which I mean, first world problems. I mean, there's not
Nobody listening is feeling sorry
there's
for
not
you
a lot
right
of
now,
people out
so
there
you-
that don't get excited about hunting more. But when it's 90 degrees outside, I don't want to run my dogs. I mean, like even by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, like we were talking about, the birds, they're jumpy then anyways.
Mhm.
You're not going to get a lot of good contacts. So it's like, then by 10, when it is starting to get good, it's already 75.
Yeah.
And the dogs are burnt up in a half-hour run.
Well, it is. Let's see. Where are we at here? We're like the last 10 days of September,
Yep.
and the best of what you have out here is to come.
For sure.
We talked about it yesterday, you and I, when we're driving. Like we talk about everything in life, but just that once pheasant season opens here, I mean, had we been able to shoot pheasants yesterday,
Oh, we could have shot.
and we
pheasants
could have
for
shot,
sure.
like 3 dogs on point right there. We could have just been boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Sharpies, huns, and pheasants between the 3 of us would have been just piled up.
I think
mean,
I
it
think there's
would've been-
a real possibility that both of the last 2 days we would have killed a limit of pheasants. In that last walk of the day.
Oh, for
on
sure,
the first
because
day we had.
we pulled the dogs out of the thick draws to work the tops.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
to keep them out of the thick cover.
Yeah.
And we, even without sending dogs, I mean, obviously they're going to run in there at some points, and we saw a lot of pheasants.
Yeah.
We didn't target those particular places where the
We-
pheasants are likely going to be
We
hanging.
weren't hunting
We were not.
pheasanty spots.
Yes.
I mean, there is some overlap between specifically pheasants and huns. Whereas the pheasants are, like you were saying, they're going to be down in the thicker part of the draws, down in the bottoms. The huns are going to be on the side hills predominantly and in the bushes.
And the Sharpies are typically going to be
on the tops.
Tops.
Yep.
Yeah. And for somebody that we talked about this, to distinguish on a flush between a sharptail and a hen pheasant,
Yeah.
you explained it pretty well, and
Yeah.
and it's funny actually.
It
I don't know
is.
if you can describe it in words though.
Yeah. I
Could
think
you
I
imagine
can.
Tyler doing it in person?
Right.
Yeah.
So sharptails kind of fly with their whole body, especially when they take off. So when they come out of the grass, first of all, the first thing you want to listen for is a chuckle, because sharptails.
Give us an example. Some people think,
Right.
think they're laughing at
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
They basically sound like a damn chicken.
Yeah.
And so when they get up, they're almost 100% of the time going to make that noise. Pheasants, especially hen pheasants, quiet. You just hear wings, right? And roosters occasionally cackle, but that's a totally different. I'm not trying to do that one. But
I feel it's so rare for roosters to cackle anymore. What's
Yeah,
going on with that?
I don't know. They're it's rude, really, because I love the pheasant cackle when they get up, especially when
Is that
they're-
a game farm thing?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, it does seem like, I mean, they definitely do it more if you're going to go and shoot preserve birds and the wild ones. But it's a cool sound.
It is.
But when sharptails get up, and what I mean by they fly with their whole body is when they get up, their entire body and with their wings is tilting back and forth and then coast. So with pheasants, their body's pretty stable and it's just their wings going. Like after you see it, it's so easy to discern the differences.
Right.
And there's, but the big thing, the big telltale sign is listen for the laugh. I mean, listen for that cluck.
So this point scenario that we keep talking about, 3 dogs on point and birds of every species coming up. We had seen so many sharptails, and it was just kind of like forgot for a split second that I could have a pheasant flush out here. So 7 birds get up at the same time, just like a covey of sharptails, but it was a bouquet, which, by the way, that's a real thing, a bouquet of pheasants.
That's right.
Yeah. So the pheasants get up, and I shoulder my gun, and I go, no, in my head. And then, like, we watched back some of the videos.
Your hands up.
I put a stop sign up.
It was like you were directing traffic out there. You're like, nope, we're not dealing with you.
You not do those ones. And then over my shoulder to the other side, you just see the sharptails getting up. And I don't know how we're gonna fit everything into the episode.
That's always a problem every time we're together, because I mean, like, everybody has their own favorite moments of every particular hunt. But when you and I get together and you throw George into the mix, there's too many to pick.
I think we're going to call this episode Legends of the Fall.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been used plenty of times. And the reason why I think I'll name it that, in our media system, we have to try to come up with unique names for everything, because when we go back and search, I can't say North Dakota pheasants or whatever, because how many times is that going to play out again? So I have to come up with something unique. And the reason I went that is because the first night we did a Legends walk.
It was so cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah. My old dog, Rusty, he had his 10th birthday on September 11th. And George's dog, Boone, is also 10 or almost 11 or something like that. And I'm not saying that they're the most experienced wild bird dogs in the country, but they're in the top 10. I mean,
very
like
experienced.
these 2 dogs spend a lot of time in the field. They've hunted from coast to coast and border to border.
Yeah. North of the border
even. Yeah. And man, those 2 dogs had never hunted together. Me and George had never hunted together, but it was just like putting on a pair of comfy socks. I mean, like as soon as you let the dogs go, they both
it was like hot dish.
Yeah.
It was just comfort food.
Yeah. I mean,
so good.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys are a couple of legends too. You know,
we got some
I can say
experience.
that to you,
We got some
and I
experience.
can say that to George too. You're
Sure.
not going to say it about yourself, but it was two dogs that when it was such a relaxing walk,
Oh,
like you mentioned.
like, I mean, like, the dogs, as soon as we got into the field, they both you could see them. 'Em. They're walking on heel for a second. They both kinda, like, looked at the field that we were walking. They're like,
Target acquired.
"Alright," and off they went.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's such a stark contrast between that and then hunting with young dogs that are kind of inexperienced. So George has got another young dog, Rip. We hunted him and Bo and Daisy together on the first walk, and it was again an incredible walk, just because the dogs were doing their thing. But it's just different when you have dogs that are that seasoned and have that kind of experience. They When they come up to a place that they're expecting birds, that they've learned through thousands and thousands of wild birds being flushed in front of them, they slow down. They're always on the right side of the wind
They
on every
approach it
objective.
correctly. Yep.
And like neither dog had ever hunted with each other, but I was never concerned about them not backing each other.
Mhm.
Like Boone found a bird, Rusty backed. Rusty found a bird, Boone backed. I mean, it was just like you can't ask for anything more than that. The only problem is that they're 10, and we can't run them like we can the other dogs. I mean, like it's a little bit like you need to use a finishing hammer instead of a sledgehammer, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you need to use your brain a little bit and try to kind of pick and choose the pieces of cover that you want to hunt with them, because they just don't have the stamina that they used to.
It was a short walk by our
Our standards.
standards, but
Yep.
it was a bird rich walk.
Yeah.
Again, pheasants. I don't know if we had any sharptails, but the huns
We,
were thick.
there was a lot of huns in
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
it really, I expected there to be a lot of Hungarian partridge just based on what you said and what I've seen in the past. It far exceeded that, and
Yeah.
I'm not
So
exaggerating.
just I definitely we have to get back to talking about the movement of the huns throughout the day.
Mhm.
But before we do that, there was the last bird of the night that I shot. It kind of did the whole dying quail thing and went up on top of a hill.
Mhm.
This is how many huns there were. It died somewhere in the middle of a live covey.
Yep.
That's no joke.
Yep.
Like, we walked up there and we're looking for this down bird, and another bird gets up, and it's like,
Was
is
that
that
the
it?
one?
And then another bird gets up, and we're like,
Okay.
"Oh, okay. No. Like, this
Yep.
bird just happened to coast into another covey of birds that was 200 yards away."
Mhm.
Like, we had no idea that they were there. That bird had no idea that they were there, but there was just that many birds there that it just happened to fall amongst friends, I guess.
Yeah.
The flush. So fast, it hardly seems real. So vivid, the moment freezes in time before erupting in a blur of spurs and feathers. It's why we changed the way upland loads are built with Prairie Storm. Exclusive flight control FlexWad technology and a mix of copper-plated lead and flight stopper pellets combine to create dense, deadly shot streams through any choke. Longer shots, more power, fewer missed birds. Only from Federal.
Now is a great time to make the most of all that tasty meat you harvested. Maybe it's time to try a new recipe, sprinkle on a new seasoning, or make your own jerky and sausage. Trust me, it's not that hard to do, and it can be fun for the whole family. It doesn't matter what you harvested or what you want to prepare with it. Walton's has you covered. Walton's has everything but the meat. That's their motto. Waltons.com has everything, and I mean everything you need to process and prepare your meat. Plus, they have an online community called Meatgistics that's full of recipes and meat processing information. The sky's the limit, my friends. You don't have to be a pro to cook like one. Head to waltons.com today and enjoy meat processing season. Thankfully, it's a season that never ends. A healthy dog is a happy dog, and a dog's optimal health ultimately starts with an optimal diet. That's why I trust Nutrisource Performance Dog Food to keep Daisy healthy and running to her full potential. Nutrisource now has a full circle feeding plan that can help your dog achieve their full potential too. The full circle feeding plan revolves around their entire lineup of Nutrisource dog foods that contain their Good for Life system. The Nutrisource Good for Life system is packed with probiotics, prebiotics, and proprietary minerals that work together to support your dog's heart health and gut health. By combining this system in all of their dry foods and wet foods, you can rotate carbs and proteins like chicken, beef, fish, and lamb to meet and exceed your dog's needs and accelerate their natural desire to eat. Plus, their toppers like kombucha add even more health benefits for our dogs. Learn more about Nutrisource dog foods and the benefits of their full circle feeding plans at NutrisourcePetFoods.com. So to wrap up the Legends walk, I mean, I basically kind of just took myself back out of it. I grabbed a second camera and just tried to capture a different perspective than Lance was trying to capture with his, and just to really enjoy watching you guys do your thing. I didn't pull the trigger, and it was just really relaxing, or we said poetry in motion. Like, that's what it was, watching just a couple of studs out there doing their thing.
Well, and the other nice thing,
and the dogs were doing their thing too.
And the other nice thing about hunting with somebody like, like yourself as well, but and George, you're in the right position, because you know that the dogs are on birds, but you are kind of expecting where the birds are at in aspect to the dog. So, like, there was one particular moment on that walk where we're out in the middle of a stubble field, Boone's on point, and Rusty's on the other side pointing at Boone, backing. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where those birds are at.
Mhm.
But George walks in on the right, I walk in on the left, I take the bird that goes off to the left, he takes a bird that goes off to the right. We got 2 birds down on the ground.
Mhm.
But with people that don't really understand what's going on, instead of walking the way that we did, where we walks up kind of towards Rusty, I walk up kind of towards Boone, and we're not walking like coming from the back of the dog, walking at the other one.
Yep.
Which people do that often, and it's just kind of a mistake. I mean, the dogs knew where we were at, they knew where the birds were at, I knew where George was going to be, he knew where I was going to be.
One of the most beautiful things yesterday, so we're out on the big rolling massive prairie flats and hills, and my buzz goes off, and I'm like, oh, I got a point, and you're like, oh, CJ's got a point over here. And it took, based on the distance, it took about 5 minutes to get to Daisy.
Sure.
That's how far away she was. And when we got there, George was on my left, and we come up over the top, and I can see, first you see just the white tip of the tail up in the air on the horizon. But the way the wind was blowing, I knew that she had the bird pinned between us.
Right.
So she's still a young dog, but she's got a lot of birds.
She's
under
seasoned.
her. Yeah.
Yep.
And for her, and we talk about this every once in a while, those snapshots that she is taking in.
Yep.
She has stood there. I mean, think like a dog. Are they coming?
Yeah.
I haven't moved in 5 minutes, and dog in
dog years, it's a month.
It's a month. She hasn't moved, and she's probably wondering, should I just go take care of this myself?
I can catch this bird.
I think I can get this one. And if she did it without us even, she was so far away that we might not have even known.
If she took a step, that bird
because
was
it was about 6-inch tall, really thin cover,
right on the downwind side of a hill, right there on the right on the crest.
So we walk in, and she's staring right forward at me. George is to my left. She can, like, with her eyes, she's looking like, okay, here they come.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is happening. We flush that bird.
Right.
Boom, bird goes down, and she runs over and gets it. I have to wonder what's going on in that dog's mind. Like,
sure,
that's the way it's supposed to go, boys. That is how it's supposed to go.
That was perfect.
Let's do it again.
I think that they're doing the same things going through their mind that's going through our mind.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Best
day ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless that bird flies away, then they're saying different things that are too explicit for this podcast.
Which we want to do someday. We laugh about this all the time, but it would be so fun to put together an episode, TV show. And then you take one of your dogs, I take mine, George takes his, and we talk as if we are the dogs. We narrate the dogs. Yeah. I think that would be the best episode ever made.
I think so too, but Lance brought up a really cool idea last night that, now with the technology that's out there with GoPros and stuff like that, you could put a GoPro, they make a GoPro saddle for the back of the dogs, right? And have them kind of running through there with the video stabilization. Now, it wouldn't make you sick like it used to.
Yep.
But then, you could have them, oh my God, this is the best day ever. Oh God, there's birds. Gotta stop. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He missed it again.
I can't believe. Why did he send that guy? Send the other one in. The cowboy hasn't hit anything all day. He sends him on my birds. Why could he go to the other? But, like, would it be a soft, a tender? "Oh, Dad, I just love you so much. Thanks for bringing me out here."
That would be Rusty.
Yeah, that'd be Rusty.
That would
"Oh,
be
Dad,
Rusty.
you're just the best."
Daisy would be like, "Why are we sitting again?
Yeah. "You guys stop all the time.
Well,
Why are you
like,
stopping? Let's
I'm
go.
not
Hey,
tired.
look over there. There's another
There's
hill.
birds
I
there."
think there's something on the other side of that
cracked
hill."
me up so much
Mhm.
last night. I mean, we needed to sit down just for our mental,
her sake.
for our mental sake,
Yeah.
but really for Minnie. Because that poor little dog, her tongue was hanging about a yard out of her mouth, and she was just gassed and having the time of her life. But I was like, George, and his old dog Tucker, who's 12 or whatever he is, it's like, man, let's just take a second, kind of soak it all in. We're in a really pretty place. Let's set the dogs down. Daisy sat with her back to us,
Mhm.
just staring out at every place that she's like, well, I think there's birds there.
Mhm.
I think there's birds there. I think there's birds there. Dad keeps on yelling at me to sit down. Like, what the hell are we doing
I
here?
never tell her
are we
to sit. I
No,
never
right,
tell her to
right,
sit, but
right.
she does. Yeah.
But she, it's.
I got a video of it. I'll post a
Yeah.
video at some point
It's-
because it's too cute not to.
It
Like,
is.
she's just thinking, this is where I was meant to be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It-
she had to. In
You
her
could
mind
have
be
some
thinking,
cheesy music going on in the
Yeah.
background, you know.
Don't take me home, Dad.
Right.
This is where I want to be
Yeah.
forever.
So before we get way too far off topic, let's go back.
But the dog narration.
It's
it
got to
would
happen.
Yeah, but it also, I like when you look at the dogs, the things that we do
Mm-hmm.
in the way that they look at you without any facial expressions like we have,
Right.
it looks like they're swearing at you all the time.
They have
And so we would have to beep out a lot of things
sure.
in order
So
to be accurate.
I say that I say this with all right. I say this with all the love. I love CJ to death, but she has a little case of resting bitch face. Like she just kind of like when she's in the kennel, she's always giving you side eye. If you miss a bird, real side eye.
Yeah.
I mean, and so she when dogs do have expressions, and hers is just kind of like, like she looks like somebody that's there. She's always a little critical. She's like, Dad, you can get here faster.
Yeah.
I got here real fast. Can't you run? Yeah, I think you could. You know,
are so slow, Dad.
yeah.
You are so slow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we 100% have to do that. I think it would be super funny. There'd have to be a lot of swearing.
There would be a lot of beep. Yep. Okay, let's get to the huns
Yeah.
because they are a bird that I've really spent. Well, I love the birds. You
Yeah.
love the birds. We both put them in our top 2 probably of favorite birds.
Definitely.
The flush of the covey, the explosion. We saw a super covey.
It was 30 birds. I mean, it
Yeah.
was
in one bush. It was so much that
Right.
they went over our head, they went away, they went to the right, they went to the left.
Yeah.
Typically, you're going to get an explosion, and if it's a dozen birds, they're all going to go pretty much together.
kind of the same direction.
Sometimes they'll split, but in that one explosion to have 30 in every direction,
And-
maybe more. Like
Right.
that's the biggest explosion that I
So,
have been
I
part of.
I find a couple of those a year. So is what it is, and we refer to them as super coveys, but as what it is there's 2, especially in years like this year, last year, when there's a lot of coveys per square mile. There's only so much suitable cover that they want to live in, and so 2 coveys just happen to be in the same bush, or they happen to like the same location. They're probably all related. It's probably like that Irish family down the street that's got 18 kids and 48 cousins, whatever. And we seen it pretty clearly in that example yesterday, and you guys will see it on the TV show. There was 2 coveys in the bush. They went in all directions, but one clearly wanted to go to the north, and the other one clearly wanted to go to the west. And so, like a super covey, you're never going to find a legit single family unit of birds that's over 20. I think the biggest
Biologically, I don't think it can happen.
hun clutch ever recorded was 22 eggs. So
Okay.
that'd be a covey of
Who
24.
recorded that?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I heard it from a biologist, so I just continue to
You just
spout it.
believe everything anybody says, don't you?
Yeah. Santa Claus is still real.
Mhm.
So in extraordinary circumstances, say they had a 22 egg hatch and no birds, there was zero predation, no birds got hypothermic, whatever. I see quite a few 18 to 20 bird coveys every year. But occasionally when you find one of those super coveys, 30 plus birds, I mean, you talk about pandemonium. I mean, like it's hard enough to focus on one bird when there's 12 or 14 or 15 that are getting up. Try doing it when there's 30 and they're going in all different
Yeah.
directions.
It's
Yeah.
the coolest thing.
Yeah. Oh,
It
I
is
love
the
it.
coolest thing. And it's why hunting for Hungarian partridge is so
I
amazing.
was so thankful that we were able to get that particular covey, the quality of video that we got on that. We had
Mhm.
Daisy on point. Tucker had the find on that one. Jesse, my little 15-month-old setter's backing beautifully. And then release the rocket. Here
Yeah.
comes Minnie, just coming through with blood in her eyes, you know, and she runs through that bush, and those huns are like, "Oh crap. This
What
is
are you?
yeah, I don't know what you are, but this is not where I
Little
want to be
black
anymore."
missile,
Yeah.
yes.
She was just a heat-seeking missile, but I was so glad that we were able to show that because it is an uncommon occurrence to find a covey like that. I mean, you've been hunting them for quite a while. I've kind of dedicated my life to hunting huns and trying to figure them out because they are a super special bird in my opinion. But even I hunting, 120 plus days a year, you might get 2 or 3 of them a year.
A super covey.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's not common.
What you just don't expect it, and when it happens, it was like we all were just in awe for a moment.
Well, I mean, the real thing is like, how in the hell can there be that many birds in that bush?
Yeah.
Like, there couldn't have been any room left underneath there.
Well, it was a big one.
Yeah.
Let's get into what we know about these birds and how they move and why sometimes people might not have success because they're hunting cover, similar
Sure.
to sharptails, in that, let's say you get up early. Like for me, if I come out here, I want to be hunting from the moment I can legally hunt till the moment I legally can't hunt.
Sure.
And I get that your dog can be tired, but if the weather's good and you can pace yourself, like I just love to hunt. So I
Right.
want to be out there. But what that can lead to is you're wearing yourself out
Sure.
and you're hunting an area where the birds will be,
But they're not right
there
now.
yet.
Yeah.
Because in the morning, they move out into the grain fields.
Right.
And we did in the evening get birds to hold tight in
We did.
the stubble, in wheat stubble. But in the morning, do you find that it's a different story? We didn't hunt them in the morning in the
Right.
wheat stubble, but in the past, it's pretty tough to get close to them
Yeah.
in the morning
Yeah.
in the wheat stubble. What's the difference and
So,
why?
the difference is in the morning they're out in the grain, but they kind of move out into the grain as a group. So the whole covey will, and perfect example of what they do is one of the last coveys of huns on the walk last night that we had. Tucker pointed it, and he was pointing towards us, and we walk up there, and there's nothing. He's an experienced dog, and he was fairly sure. Then my puppy comes in where Tucker was at. She rips a point, and she doesn't want to move. It's like there's birds here somewhere. But is what happened is they were pointing where the birds had been 10 minutes ago, but they were walking up the draw to get up to the grain field. We were only 50 yards away from a grain field. And so they're walking up. When in the mornings, they all kind of move out of the cover together and they go up together. In the evenings, they do that as well, but we were hunting them, I mean, pretty close to last light. I mean, it was late in the evenings. So if it would have been an hour and a half earlier, they would have all been together. But when they get out in those fields, they kind of start to split up and go and pick grain on their own. So they can be scattered out over a 50, 60 yard area. With huns, it's so fascinating. I don't know how they do it, but they got an internal clock. The second that one of them beats their wings, they all do.
Yeah.
In the evenings when they're scattered out over a big area, it's like it messes with their internal clock. So when they're that far apart, they'll just hold a little bit tighter. Sometimes very tight. To the point where you'll have those staggered flushes that are kind of uncommon in huns. You'll have 2 and 3 go out, and then you'll be standing there with your gun open, and then 4 or 5 will go out the other way, and then 2 or 3 more. And it's just because they're scattered out over a bigger area. Like when they're all right together in a spot in a ball. Once one goes, they all go. But when they're scattered, it just messes up with that internal clock a little bit.
Sure. So they're out in the field. I don't know. Depends on the heat. Depends on the weather that day, obviously. But after they feed, they'll come back into the cover. Now that's time to really pursue them.
Sure.
And if it's really hot, we were just in Alberta hunting huns, and the heat was our friend, according to Perry McCormick up there, who's hunted huns his whole life. And that's kind of, one of the strongholds of Hungarian partridge in North America is that Alberta area there, the wheat.
That's the reason why we have hunts here.
Yeah, they
It's
they
that
took hold
introduction.
there, and those birds exploded in their population sizes, kept spreading and moved south and moved east, and eventually made it down here, and that is why.
But
But
the reason that the heat can be your friend sometimes is because
shade.
they like shade.
Yeah.
And that's what we seen yesterday afternoon. They were in those bushes for shade.
Yep.
And it's also cover from avian predators.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Um,
So now you have objectives.
you
that
have
can
objectives.
Go to.
Exactly. And it does eliminate a lot of the country that they could maybe be in.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, when it wasn't very far into the walk at all yesterday evening where I was like, well, they're telling us where they are. They're in the bushes.
Yep.
And all the species, pheasants, huns, and sharptails, they were all in the bushes.
Mhm.
It was probably 67, 68 degrees, but it was nice and comfortable underneath there. They're in the shade. 65, 70 degrees is still warm,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and so we have dogs that'll get out and run, and they're gonna go. We're not gonna tell them go to that bush. Like they understand objectives too. They're hunting, but they're covering a lot of that open ground as well, just because they run so much. If you have a dog that stays closer to you,
Say a lab or
yeah,
a
let's
cocker.
say a lab or the cocker. If George just hunted the cocker, which we did that in Alberta too,
We would have been fine.
we'd have been fine because we could have anticipated there were birds in the grass.
Sure.
We did find birds. The dogs pointed birds in the grass that weren't in the bushes, but there were a lot in the bushes. We would have done just fine with just a dog walking from bush to bush and flushing birds out of them.
For
But,
sure.
it's not that this country's too big for a close ranging dog.
No,
is what I'm getting
it's
at.
not. Yeah. I mean, you just need to be realistic about how well you can cover it. And, if you're in one of those spots where you're walking, say, over a hill in between draws, just heal that dog. I mean, wait until you get into the cover where it's most likely to succeed instead of burning up its energy in the spaces that you might find birds, but, they're going to be fewer and farther between.
I'm always intrigued, or not. Maybe not intrigued isn't the right word, but I'm always, I don't know, maybe not even surprised. The birds in the afternoon are fat and they don't want to fly. Your
Yeah.
chances of getting a really close flush on huns, just like the golden hour for pheasants.
Yep.
I mean, we had let's see, the first day I'll give an example. Dogs are running from grass through a cut wheat field, heading to more grass, and then there goes a covey that gets up.
Mhm.
And if that was to been the evening, there's a good chance the dog would have just went on point right there.
Yeah.
When they smelt the bird, and the covey would have held tight.
Well,
It's just different in the evening.
There's a lot of things in their favor in the evening. So typically it's starting to cool down. The winds, if at least here in North Dakota, if it has been a windy day, the wind starts to kind of die down towards the evening. The birds have had all day to lay scent around on the ground. So they can kind of read the book a little bit, if you will. Like they can well, this is old scent, this is old scent, this is old scent. Getting closer,
Mhm.
and they can kind of start putting the pieces together a little bit more. Whereas in the morning, I don't really like hunting mornings. First of all, I like to sleep. Gonna put that out there. But the first 2 hours of the morning, I'm not gonna say it's a waste of time because it's not. I mean, anytime.
I think if you're a pheasant hunter,
Sure,
it's a good time to
sure.
be out.
I mean, it's specifically for pheasants, you can do a lot of scouting in a hurry, if you will. Like you can drive down a road and you can see birds in the field and you can drop a pin and say, okay, well, there's birds there. I'll come back here later. That's the way that I do it for pheasants because the birds are out, they're feeding, and there's not all cattail sloughs are created equal, as we know
Right.
in the pheasant world. I mean, you can walk into one, there can be 100, and you can walk into the next one, there can be none. So I drive a lot of roads in the morning. That's the way that I like to spend my mornings, say from sun up until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll just drop pins on spots that I know there are birds because I've seen birds there. Then I'll go back and I'll hunt those spots throughout the afternoon when you will get the better dog work.
Mhm.
Now, it's not that way for the evenings. I love hunting evenings, especially this time of the year. In September when it's warm out, I'll hunt from say 10 o'clock until 1. By 1 o'clock, it's too hot. The dogs are tired. You've had time to make a really nice big loop, whatever it is. Go and chill out for the afternoon when it's 80
Crack
Right.
jokes.
Crack
sit on
jokes,
the tailgate, lay in the grass
lay
like
in the
we did
grass,
yesterday.
eat
Yep.
some sandwiches, eat a whole bunch of chips and trail mix and Dots pretzels and we had the Prairie Buffet out there yesterday.
You want me to pull up the picture? I took a picture
Yeah.
of the tailgate here. Let's
Right.
see what we all brought out there. It was not all healthy. I tried to be better about my health this year. And let's
Travis is
see.
like he's like a squirrel preparing for winter at all times. I mean, like every time he gets out of my truck, I'll find some Mott's fruit snacks in there in November.
That's true. I got Caramel Mountain trail mix. I have like 4 different flavors of trail mix. What are these? Oatmeal,
Cream pies.
cinnamon and brown sugar, biscuit type things. This is a Ben Bredigan thing. It's like you gotta have this square bites. Anyway, we got crackers. We got Lance wanted applesauce. We got applesauce for Lance. Bags of chips. Dots pretzels, which by the way she sold.
Yeah, to
Oh.
Hershey.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, if they want to buy anything that I got for $200 million, they can have it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Oh, as I look here, I see all these walleyes that we caught too.
Oh,
We took a little break from the hunt the first day.
Can we just wrap up on Huns for just
Oh,
a
yeah,
half
yeah,
second?
yeah.
So, when we did the Legends walk,
Mhm.
Before we got out of the truck, I told you guys, I said these birds are going to be in the wheat or within. I mean, they might be on the edge of the cover, but they're going to be at the very most 10 yards or so into the cover, or they're going to be up to 150, 200 yards out into the wheat. That's just so their routine throughout the day. They eat in the morning, they're in the fields, they go back to cover, they're out in the fields later.
Mhm.
And as soon as the dogs got into the draw, I was like, this ain't Huns. Like they're hunting pheasants,
Mhm.
which was cool. I
Yep.
love watching pheasants fly, especially when you got 2 old dogs out there and let's let them have some fun.
Yep.
But I knew that we'd kind of been drawn into the spot that there weren't birds.
Correct.
And as soon as we got into the wheat field and up on the edge of that wheat field, boom, hun covey, boom, hun
Hun
covey,
covey,
boom,
boom.
hun covey.
Mhm.
And so the evening time for me is like my bread and butter for hunts. I love hunting birds right across a wheat field or along the edges of wheat fields because you get that nice evening sun,
The golden hour.
yeah, I mean the stubbles looks like it's on fire.
Yep.
I mean it's just glowing and you get these really beautiful moments of the white dogs out there, or our dogs at least are white,
Mhm.
but and so I don't like the first 2 hours of the morning. The rest of the day is fantastic. But you just kind of need to be aware of where they're at in their feeding schedule. And if it starts to be, it gets dark here at 8 now. If it's the last 2 hours of the day, they're moving up out of that thicker cover as the day goes on and into that field.
And
So-
typically they're going to walk into there.
right.
Which means, when people look at an entire section of wheat, well, if there's a rock pile that they're in or some bushes and a little draw,
Right.
you can usually expect to find them within 100 150 yards of that cover.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you have a dog and you're walking the edge and your dog is going to go out 200 yards,
Let 'em.
let them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very likely to make, and the dogs will, the birds will show the dogs where they are. I mean, like
Totally.
like what their nose can tell just from running along an edge and catching a track, and then they'll run the track a little ways, and they're like, nope, that's old,
Mhm.
and then they'll run the track the other way, and they're like, up, getting warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer. Birds, trust them, like just 100% trust them. When those dogs
Yeah.
rip a point out in the middle of a wheat field, don't be like,
No
there's
way.
there's no
Right.
way, or
Get there.
get there as
Yeah,
quick
what
as you can.
we had this saying this week with Lance. Lance and I filmed up in Alaska like 15 years ago with this outfitter, and his motto was make a plan, stick with the plan, don't fall in love with the plan.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
we laughed about it because we would always leave the truck with a plan. The dogs would tell us otherwise,
Right.
and the birds would quickly tell us
Right.
why. And then we'd say, all right, we're going to adjust. We're constantly
Right.
adjusting, and that's the beauty
But
of
the other thing that I wanted to mention to everybody that's listening is what the reason I'm telling you about the daily movements. Yes, it's to help you guys get more birds, but it's also to, if we would have walked that spot yesterday afternoon and just walked the draw and then walked back out of there, we would have been like, there's no Huns here, there's just pheasants. There's Huns there, lots of them.
Mhm.
They're just not in that cover right now.
Yep.
And so if you kind of just get married, just like you're talking about, don't get married to a plan. when you're walking that thing, and if you see a covey of huns that flush out in the wheat field wild or whatever, that's where those birds are. You need to pay attention to where, even if it's a fail,
You can put a pattern together really
real
quickly
fast.
by paying attention to details. And people ask regularly, "Oh, yeah, I'm heading out to this area. Where would you recommend?" And I just say it can change by the day,
By
it can
the hour.
change by the week, and it certainly has changed since I've been there 4 years ago.
Sure.
There's been places where I went to and I had pins and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be the bomb, guys. Get ready." Last time I was here, there was 600 birds that got out of this section, and there was
Right.
100 here and 20, blah, blah, blah. They were not in those places.
Right.
It changes, and you should want to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Or you should want to be able to go put those pieces together. That's the fun of the hunt.
And there's nothing.
If you don't want to do that, then just go to a preserve that you can walk and shoot
Right.
regularly, continuously, because I enjoy eating the bird. I enjoy every part of it. But to me, overcoming that obstacles,
Finding
and
them.
finding it and figuring it out and
Yep.
putting together the pattern and then
Yep.
seeing it all happen,
there's-
that's a reward.
There's nothing that's quite as rewarding to me as finding a brand new spot that I've never hunted before.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what was so cool.
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, I think I'll come back here."
Yeah. Yeah. First time I've hunted it all year. I mean, I've hunted that spot in the past. But I mean, in the past, there's times you walk it, you might move a covey of huns, you might move a few sharptails. Then there's other years like this year where you move 6 coveys of huns and I don't know, 40, 50 sharptails and 40, 50 pheasants and everything else.
Mhm.
And it just, we drop pins on maps on Onyx to give us a starting point. Like, we've had success here in the past. Let's go and check in on those spots. But finding a brand new spot that you've never, ever, ever hunted before, and then going out there, especially like those guys last night at the bar that were the 3 brothers, they had success this week.
Mhm.
And they found spots all on their own, and now they have those spots forever.
Yeah, and they're already the first thing says, "Oh, we're
We're coming back. They're already planning it.
They're already excited
Yeah.
to come back too. You live in an unrealistic world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not what you have here is for people that are listening right now that enjoy upland bird hunting. Like, I can't really draw up a much better place to come,
Well,
and that's why I'm
and
moving
it's
in.
and it's yeah. I mean, we would do well to get you as a North Dakota resident finally. I'm sure the Game and Fish are going to miss those non-resident license fees that you've been paying for 25 years.
Yeah.
But it's if you love the outdoors, just in general, whether it's upland bird hunting, waterfowl hunting, fishing for any kind of species you can think of, tiger muskies, smallmouth bass, walleye, salmon, trout, whatever it is, panfish, perch, it's heaven. I mean, like I'll never leave. I'll never move out of North Dakota. There's nothing that could ever make me move out of here.
And the walleye fishing on Lake Sakakawea right now, I think it's top 10 in North America.
I think so.
I really do. The amount of fish, the
size of
quality,
fish,
the size of the fish out there. You've been hammering them all year long.
Yeah.
And we took a break from hunting, gave the dogs a rest, jumped in the boat with your buddy Roger Schumann's Guide Service.
Yep.
And we went out and caught some fish. Who caught the biggest?
Trav.
Oh, thanks
he
for
did,
that,
he
buddy.
did, and it was also the first. Nope. I caught one that was
caught the
that was
smallest walleye
rough. I caught the smallest.
in Lake Sakakawea.
It's hard because their mouths are so small. Like, it takes precision to get that thing on a hook. But so we Roger is a
he made a comment. Wow, we just weren't catching those earlier this year. I'm like, that's because that one was not even alive.
It wasn't.
That one was just born.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, it probably grew up to that size over the course of a summer.
Yeah.
It's just a good measuring stick of the health of the fishery. Is that you're honestly not wrong. I mean, those fish will put on 4 inches a year. Like,
what did we figure? A 14-inch out here was a 2-year-old.
2-year-old fish. Yeah.
I mean, and then you're talking
the next year they're 18
inches,
and then the 4-year-old fish are going to be those 22 to 23 inches.
Yeah, probably the amount of 4 to 8-year-old walleyes that you have in this system out here is
the
man.
The Game and Fish do net surveys every spring, and the age class, the biggest age class of walleyes in Lake Sakakawea right now are those 18 to 23 inch fish. And a 23-inch walleye, which is about the one that you caught, that was a fat fish. I mean, I'm sure that fish weighed 4.5 pounds.
Yeah, beautiful walleyes. This time of the year, my favorite way to fish them, which I did, was throwing a Rapala jig and wrap. I mean, if you have the technology to see in front of you the live imaging or the forward-facing sonars, I mean, you
And I
can
mean,
see these fish out
even
there
with side
cast.
scan,
Even with side scan.
even with
Yep,
side scan. I mean,
totally.
you could 100% see those fish on side scan. And for you ladies out there that are listening, that's how Travis keeps his pipes in shape. I mean, he doesn't go to the gym and do curls. He does jig and wraps, man.
Jig and
I mean,
wraps.
he's just ripping that sucker. He was up there, he was in the back of the boat
Yep.
casting that thing for 3 hours, just nonstop.
Yeah, I can't get enough of it.
So I was telling you, like, we were initially going to take out my boat. I got my guide's license this summer, and I bought a really nice new boat. Not new, but 2021.
New to you.
New to me. Pretty new.
Beautiful rig.
21 foot nitro. But I have never fished out of a boat in the month of September in my life because it's not fishing season for me. It's hunting season, right? So I don't know what they're doing right now. I mean, we could have figured it out. We would have looked in the exact spot that we ended up fishing because that's one of the spots that I always check. And we would have been able to figure it out. But my buddy Roger is one of the best fishermen that I know. He's won lots of tournaments. He guides on Lake Sakakawea 4 days a week all summer. And he can figure them out faster than I can. And when you guys were coming up here, we knew that we had that day was going to be the day if we wanted to go and try to catch some fish. It had to be that day. And then, I mean, yesterday it was going to be breezy. Today it's rain. So it had to be that day. So I was like, man, let's just stack the odds in our favor and let's talk to Raj and let's go out and get it done. And we did.
Yeah, the only downside to right now this time of the year is that there's not enough daylight hours.
No.
It goes so fast. It's time to start planning your next bird hunt. If you've listened to this podcast for any time at all, then you know where I'm about to send you. That's to North Dakota. Why? Well, it's one of the greatest places on earth to watch a bird dog in the field. That's why. In North Dakota, you can experience a waterfowl hunt during the peak of the fall migration and have the best upland hunt all in the same day. I've done it many times. That's why I know it's true. Plus, this year, the spring pheasant crowing counts were up 30% from last year, and the weather has been looking good for a strong hatch. Water levels are up, way up, which means the total number of wetlands are up too, 76% above the long-term average, and that means more ducks and geese. The state's breeding duck index was the 23rd highest on record this year, 39% above the long-term average at 3.4 million. All of this means more pheasants than last year, more ducks than last year, and I'm hearing excellent reports about the sharptail grouse and Hungarian partridge too. Start planning your world-class hunt in North Dakota at HelloND.com. If you're an active outdoorsman or woman on the go, then odds are good that you have toys and equipment that you need to haul. Well, our friends at Aluma Trailers, they've got you covered. Their trailers are built by a hardworking team in Bancroft, Iowa, right here in the good old USA. They have models for all of your hauling needs, from ATV and UTV trailers to utility, snowmobile, motorcycle, car trailers, and even fully enclosed trailers like mine. Trust me when I say that Aluma Trailers tow gear like a dream. Their trailers are constructed out of lightweight, strong, corrosion-resistant aluminum, and they are 100% maintenance-free. Plus, they come with an industry-best 5-year warranty. Visit alumaklm.com to find a trailer that fits your needs. The onX Hunt app is one of the most valuable hunting tools that I take into the field every day, and now that app is available in our vehicles. Yep, onX did it. They launched Apple CarPlay. That means when you plug your phone into your vehicle, you now have the option to open up the onX app right on the dash of your hunting rig. No more holding your phone while driving, which is obviously dangerous, and you get all of the same layers on your vehicle dash that you get on your phone. You can see the aerial view of your location while driving down the road, just like you'd see if you're using your own maps, apps, Waze, or Google Maps. Except now you can find out if the properties around you are open to the public, the landowner's name that owns the land. And if you're in North Dakota, you can see if that land is posted without even touching your phone. To use this feature, simply make sure your onX app is up to date. And if you're not an iPhone user, don't worry. onX is currently working on the same platform for Android phones too. Apple CarPlay, the latest incredible feature from Onyx Hunt. Always know where you stand and now where you drive with Onyx Hunt. The moral of the story is Lake Sakakawea is overflowing with walleyes right now.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly in the top 10. I mean, you can talk about basically any of the Missouri River reservoirs are in such good shape.
Fort Peck all the way to Oahe.
Yep,
and,
for sure.
Yep, definitely.
It's,
State records are coming out of here.
It's getting broken every year.
Every year.
And so Roger told us a story about his buddy on Lake Sakakawea broke the record again. He had it weighed at three separate weigh stations, and the Game and Fish wouldn't certify it until he drove it to Bismarck. And by the time he got it to Bismarck, he ended up missing out on the state record by 2 ounces.
Oh, man. What is it? The record?
Like 16 pounds. Something.
Crazy big.
Yeah.
Crazy big. This is a special place. This is a year that if you have wondered about trying to see what this North Dakota stuff is all about, that we keep blabbing about, why we love it so much, what's it all about? This is a year to try it. And actually, maybe not, because
every year is the year to try it.
Is,
I mean, like I
I
don't
was
know
gonna say
how many
maybe not,
times-
because then you're for the rest of your life gonna be like, it's
You're gonna
never
be-
as good as
you're
the
gonna be
first
ruined,
time.
yeah. I mean, so this is a little bit of a side topic, but it's relevant, I guess. So I was at my chiropractor's office, and they have there's a outdoor magazine from North Dakota called.
You're kind of high maintenance.
I really kind of am.
From chiropractor.
I got a massage.
You got a
appointments
massage
tomorrow.
as soon as we leave.
Damn right. So I mean, hey, you got to spoil yourself just like you do your bird dogs.
Yeah.
But there's a magazine here in North Dakota called Dakota Country Magazine. Great magazine. And they had, and there's a section in there called a look back, and they were talking about the 2003 upland hunting season and how epic it was. Just for comparisons, last year in North Dakota, we shot roughly 300,000 rooster pheasants. In 2003, I think it was 2003 or 2002, we shot almost 700,000 pheasants with less hunters. But every year's a good year here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I that's probably the most asked question. What are the bird numbers like? What are the bird numbers like? What are the bird numbers like?
Mm-hmm.
And to an answer, it's always the same. Guys, it's North Dakota. There's always going to be birds here. Some years you're going to walk a mile and you're going to find a covey. Some years you're going to walk a mile and you're going to find 5.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always going to be birds here, and it's always worth coming.
Yeah, the reports are Hungarian partridge are up 200% from last year.
Right, tied with an all-time high.
All-time high. Sharptail grouse are up 100%.
116.
116%. And pheasants statewide are up roughly 60%.
And boy, did we see it. I mean,
Yeah.
Across the board.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make a walk in the last 2 days where we didn't see 60, 70 birds.
Yep. If that doesn't make you want to try hunting up here, I don't know what else to say
Right.
at this point.
And
so
the game and I can't give enough praise to our game and fish department for the amount of information that they put out there. The plots program that's adding more acres every year. Every place that we hunted in the last 2 days, we didn't hunt a single piece of private posted land.
Mm-hmm.
Every place that we hunted, you can hunt. You got to go find it. But we hunted a lot of plots land. We hunted some state trust land, and we hunted some private unposted land.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not going to the best of the best. We're not going.
You held out? You have better?
I do.
Tyler Webster.
Hey, I wanted to make it an every man's hunt. I don't want you to get spoiled. Just like down
Too
in
late,
Arizona,
already spoiled.
I gotta punish you for a day before I take you to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
But
we ended on a high. I probably put it in it's in the top, one of the top hunts all time. Just the amount of birds we saw, just the dogs, just how chaotic it was, and everything flying by and coming out of the bushes, all the different bird species. It will definitely be one that I'll remember.
It'll go down in the
Fortunately,
books.
fortunately, everyone can watch it.
Oh, I didn't even. So I'm gonna say something, and then I'll have you see if you can come up with a moment. But there was 2 really cool moments for me this week. The Legends Walk with the old man, which we talked about, super cool. But I got a young setter puppy that I was nervous about putting her down just because I knew that we didn't have, like, with the weather coming in today, like usually when you come up, we film for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some wiggle room there. But with the weather, I mean, it's getting nasty outside right now. It's drizzling and it's windy and it's cold.
Which, by the way, a covey of huns just landed
know.
right over
In my
here in your
yard.
bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went from one side of your yard to the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was a little bit nervous about letting Jessie out because she's young. I mean, she's been on some birds and she's been doing great. But when you're short timing and you're trying to make sure that you got a TV show, it's a little bit stressful. We let her out of the truck yesterday, and you guys will get to see the entire sequence, the way that it happened in the show. But we're standing there, and we're kind of going over the plan for this particular walk. And Jessie just runs 50 yards down and stacks up on point.
It wasn't 50 yards.
Yeah, 40, whatever it was.
Yep.
They were almost in range from where we were parked.
Yep.
And we were standing there just chatting, and Jesse's like, "You guys can chat all you want. I'm going to go and point these sharptails." And she just stacked up on a beautiful point, and that's got to be my favorite moment of the week.
Really?
I mean, just to see a young dog do everything right. I mean, there's not one thing that she did out there yesterday that cost us a thing. I mean, she backed naturally. She pointed. She held her point. She had great bird manners. She had a chance to get into a porcupine, and she didn't.
She chose not to.
Bless
her.
She pointed a porcupine in a bush, and I nicked her on the collar, and she backed right off. No quills, no harm, no foul. But she got that experience, and that experience is a valuable one for a young dog as well. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I took a lot of things away. You mentioned the Legends Hunt, just watching. I think Daisy holding a sharp-tailed grouse on point
It was super cool.
in very little cover for 5 minutes, and then we get up there, and I didn't even shoulder my gun. And George took that bird, and George has worked with her, as I've talked about, for
Two and a
a
half
couple years,
yeah.
and I've learned so much from him. You and George are the reason why I have her. You, obviously, because your dogs made her,
Yeah.
but being able to hunt behind Bo and Rusty, and then for George and Boone and Tucker, and knowing like that's what I really want.
That's what you can get.
And he helped mentor me along the way to work with Daisy because I took her out of the prairie and I had to really put a lot of restrictions on her
Yeah.
and develop a relationship. I mean, she tolerates me, but she's one with the prairie, as we saw when she sat down there.
Yeah.
And to watch him go up there and take that bird off of a perfect point, she goes and grabs it, brings it back, and I hand it to him. And that's just something that'll stick with me. A lot of there was the chaos of all the action. It was hard to remember everything that was happening. There were so many birds coming up from different dogs on point at all times. We didn't go a couple minutes without having dog on point, but just that true explosion, the thunderous wing beats that get up when that super covey got up in front of us. That'll be hard to forget.
Watch the last sharptail that you got yesterday for your limit. It was cool for me and George to watch because Lance was filming you for a long time, and then you kind of went over top of a hill. But it was like to watch, to have known you now for several years, where you didn't have a dog and you loved it. So your love of hunting has been ratcheted up about 8 or 10 notches.
Yeah.
Because like you're just a guy following his dog, and you just went over there, and all of a sudden we heard boom, one shot. We see you kneel down. Here comes Daisy with a sharp-tailed grouse in her mouth. Like that was a pretty cool moment. Like it's not gonna make good TV because Lance wasn't there.
That was my own personal moment.
That was your moment.
There are so many times when we're filming, and depending on what's happening, like let's say Daisy's on point over here, and she's 200 yards away from the cameraman, and you guys have dog apart. Like, I'll go over there, and I know she's doing it right, and I'll flush a bird and not take a shot because I don't want to. If I can shoot 3, that's my limit. I'm not going to go and take 3 over there when the camera's not a part of it. We're here to film the TV show. So I always have that side of it in my mind, and I pass on opportunities that I want others to get or whatever it might be. But that one, I was just a little selfish, and I said,
you know what?
I'm going to go over there, and she did it right.
Well, and you knew we already had the show.
Yeah.
So, you get a moment for yourself.
Yep. I took that moment, just her and I over 100%. There. I wasn't showing a camera the bird. I wasn't doing any of that.
It was you and your dog.
Just me and my dog. And I try my best to separate that a little bit during the filming. It's
just
hard.
Those little moments.
Just have those moments. And just taking those moments where she'd stand next to me and we both are looking out, just pausing every once in a while. We did a good job yesterday of pausing and sitting down and just laughing together,
Just
but
enjoying
also
the time.
just enjoying that view that we're up on top of the hills looking across it all and just taking it all in, man. And it is a special thing. And I really appreciate everything that you do when you open this up to us, but also like we with Josh Harbolt and his brothers yesterday that we got to meet, you know what I mean? It is having an effect on other people's lives. So someday you and I will look back and say, man, how cool.
Yeah, I mean, like
cool.
it's building that community and helping people have the kind of experiences that you and I have been lucky enough to have for years. And whether they share it with us on TV or if they listen to the podcast or hopefully they come out here and try it on their own, they get to make their own memories. That's our responsibility. Like we've been lucky enough to be given an opportunity to help people try to figure this stuff out. It's our job, man. Like we have, that's what we have to do to give back to the sport that we love.
Totally. And I apologize. I've been on the road now for the last 8 or 9 days, and
you
I
need
know
to
there's
get
a lot
home.
of messages that I haven't responded to. I
Yeah.
will, and I think maybe one of these next shows it'll just be like a viewer or listener segment where we just answer questions.
For sure.
And I hope people, if you're still listening and you're interested in coming out to the live show, we also have another live show coming up in October 12th. We're doing a show in Sioux Falls, South Dakota with OnX. They have a big deal out there to announce a lot more public land that they're working on opening up.
Awesome.
So we're going to celebrate that with OnX and Pheasants Forever, October 12th. I don't have the details with me right now. I just know it's coming. They may have already announced it. If you check your email from OnX, you might have already seen it. So a couple live shows. Hunting season's here, man. It's a good one. This is a good season.
It's good everywhere.
It's good everywhere. Bring your friends out that don't get to hunt. They get to see what it's like. You're going to inspire more people to come up. This is the time to do it. Bring your kids, bring your wife, bring your friends, bring their friends along too.
And literally from every place in western United States, west of the Mississippi River, I'm hearing good reports from Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Montana and Nevada and Utah and North Dakota and South Dakota and Nebraska and Kansas and Oklahoma. And like there's birds this is a year.
Yep, the good old days are here.
That's right.
Enjoy it, everybody. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Flush Podcast, and Tyler will be back with another episode of
the Birds, Booze, and Buds podcast. And I just want to put this out there, but Pheasant Fest in Sioux Falls, me, you, Ben, maybe George Lyle, live podcast at Pheasant Fest.
Ooh.
It's March. It's a long ways off, but we got to make it happen.
You're going to show up this time?
I'll be there.
I won't believe it till I see it.
It was so nice of Pheasants Forever to take my pool schedule into account when they scheduled this Pheasant Fest, because last year I had to miss out, and I was so bummed because everybody was sending me pictures and everything else, and I was just like, oh, I want to be there.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it, buddy.
I'll be there.
All right. See ya.